Are you already on this topic? We also need to touch on this very debated topic in 2024, which is, man, this proposal, more worship, right? And we always say that we need to define it, which is kind of difficult because what worship is, right? We know that worship has nothing to do with style, but it has also become that it turned into a day when that reference of a lot of ambiance became an aesthetic. An aesthetic. I gave what yours is, what you like, what you don't like.
Like that's, man, I actually think some things are cool, but I find it obviously tiring and musically lazy, obviously, right? Like it doesn't happen much. And one thing that's tiring me, to be very honest, and it's not a criticism, but it's just my feeling, is that the sounds of the music being played in church are very standardized. It's very battle-like. There's no more personality, not even the works. Everything. Very boring, man, very boring. Sorry, but I really think it's boring. Man, I think it's really cool when a musician has a bit more personality while playing, and there's no space for that. There's no space for it. The kids, sorry, that's not what I mean, but the people who are playing in these environments, they just play some little notes here or some down here, you know. Like, I'm a fan of Coldplay, man, you know. Especially their first two albums, which were also an influence for a lot of these things, even indirectly. Perhaps because Christians listen to more of these things, gospel. And those things, just like using gospel in a way that really incorporates those other words.
You got it. And it really started with Rio. Just right. I remember when I was in my early 20s, right? There was a time when it was just meetings, right? Exactly. You get it. SBT, it also has a lot of influence from the revolution. Exactly. Maybe a bit more Americanized with a touch of American country. Exactly. I understand what you said. And whenever we make this criticism, we know that in Brazil there are people in worship who also embrace other things and brings a different touch. What we're doing in this criticism that I also make is when it just stays like this, yeah, it gets tiring. Yeah, it gets tiring. Just the ambience with 3 or 4 chords, that thing over there, it doesn't develop musically.
No, it's just that, well, it's a different approach. It's an approach where they copy. They really do copy. I really have no intention of doing something original. No.
I know that many foreign guys, when they come to Brazil, to the churches, they get disappointed.
It's because these guys think they're going to hear Brazilian music in there, and they do.
They don't listen, man. You guys are all...
These guys are 20 years behind. Right? Because back in the day, it was like this food. There was a lot more swing. There was a lot more stuff that is more characteristic of Brazilian music. And I'm not saying I'm not Brazilian, man. I didn't study jazz seriously. I just listened to some, figured out a few licks because everyone had to figure them out. Learn to let you know and everything, right? Sure, super cool. I actually like listening to jazz because I think it's musically super. It's complex, right, dude? It's a whole different vibe. I like to listen. But I don't study. I'm not right. I'm not into that. But Brazilian music also has so many cool things, right, dude? And then you see that none of this is part of the church anymore.
When I converted 20 years ago at the Zona Sul community, you must know the Zona Sul community.
I've heard of it.
Zona Sul. Lini Barra was from there too. At that time, she was from there. In fact, Rubinho produced the album around the same time as the community. But anyway, there was a lot going on, the communities with that more congregational vibe, which had a groove that worked with rock. But even the communities, I saw that they started to really embrace this vibe. And then, dude, it ruined their sound. It was over because they lost their personality.
And I think so too. If a guy's goal is to learn just enough to play in that context, he doesn't need to learn much more. It's a shame, right?
And there's that thing that's passing. We've been talking a lot here too that we think we've hit a ceiling since people are getting tired of it, right?
But everything is very cyclical. Everything is very cyclical. I believe that some things are going to come back around, right?
Dude, yeah, I believe. I really do. And then the guy who just sticks to that, he might struggle to pick up other things, right? Because harmonically it's more limited and rhythmically too, right?
Yeah, exactly, and rhythmically too. Especially right. Because it's all right here. Here or here. but there's no syncopation, there's nothing different, right?
It's not about using your guitar, a pick for groove, something even to have the aggression of rock and roll that you need, right?
It's about hands-on and having the skill. It's exactly about taking a bit of the drive to add some dynamics, right?
Yeah. And dude, what do you use to record at home?
Dude, I have you talking about equipment, about recording, man. For me, a converter is very important, right? So I have a RM, an audio interface from RM, which has great converters. It's really cool. I have the microphone in case I want to record a guitar, something like that. But use it for more guitar, because not just for guitar, no, a few years. I've been using Tom for about 4 years now, which I want, which is the extra pedal, right? From the two-tone, which simulates just the sound, man. So I use my head, my amp head from from Vox. But frankly speaking, after this experience of starting to use these tones, man, it's all falling apart. It's probably going to just sit there unused because it's cool, man. It's not just cool, it's fantastic. I think it came to be cool to swallow, even though you said, dude.
I think this technology is really great for those who have a home studio.
You're already hearing the final sound just like that. Not necessarily because, why do I say that? Because in the context, in the mix, you have to get out of here later.
You have to know that while I'm talking, you're hearing the sound of the guitar. Yes. So you're not hearing the sound that you're hearing on the indicator. Sometimes, are you hearing a bit of a cool sound when it got the act?
It goes by the technique and there's sound. It seems like that's not it. You're right. It's the sound you hear. It's the sound that will stay. But then you have to, because I do that a lot. I'm making a building, a song, something like that. Then I record it, guitar. It's a great sound. When I open all the other instruments, it disappears. Then it's obvious. Then you have to start cutting the bass, raising the highs, maybe cutting something with some special resonance in one. In the mid-range, when you're just listening to the guitar here, it's super immersive. You're not hearing those things that don't work in the mix context. Got it.
Just to make a little correction, and the tone. It's the store, it's ant note.
That's true. From Tonsa Nova, Brazil. So they're in Brazil.
What she called to go paying there. Look, Tonsa, this is from Tonsa Nova. That's true. Do that Torpedo live. That's it.
And mine is Torpedo X. That's right.
I was here. I said, man, something was thrown off. Yeah, I was also feeling insecure, but I was with the crew to research. But I'm the one who's going to say, it's not, right? I'm the one who understands the least about the equipment here.